Hi, and welcome back to Boss Wife. I'm your host, Ebony. Here is where you will get your motivation for the week. Here is where you will get the tools and tips to learn how to play, laugh, and live hard, unapologetically. Here is where you will learn how to erase the lines of the box because you realize you cannot be contained. Here is where you will learn how to show up for yourself. Here is where the most powerful transition will begin in your life. Welcome to Boss Wife. Hey guys, how are you guys doing? So we just had Mother's Day weekend and I had a double because it was also my wedding anniversary. We celebrated I apologize. We celebrated 16 years and I did say that last week, and I also put that on my Facebook post. Oh my goodness. So my husband was like, I think we've been married 16 years. And I was like, I thought it was 17, but we usually go by my son's age, and he is turning 16 in January. So we've been married for 16 years now. so sorry guys. But anyways, so I had a great weekend. I hope you guys had a great weekend as well. Mother's Day weekend is definitely an honor to be acknowledged and supported and celebrated. It is definitely a eye-opener. It is definitely a lesson. Mother's Day weekend is just a day for me to be like, oh wait, I'm a mom, because all year long we go. All year long, well, I do everything. I do nothing. I do something. I'm doing something at all times. I'm doing nothing some of the time. Like, there's never a moment I'm not doing anything at all. So it's definitely a day where I get to sit back and reflect on, wow, like, I'm so proud of myself for accomplishing this great journey, like in tackling this journey and staying focused on my journey. Mother's Day weekend has always made me sit back and reflect on my mom and my grandmother and my auntie, because they're all mothers to me, and it's something that I instill in my kids to appreciate, my auntie and my grandmother and my mom and their grandmother, which is my husband's mom. Just appreciate the women in your life, because we don't always have those set goals. Like, we don't, not set goals. We don't always have those set people in our lives, right? Because in my family, we have more church members than I do actual family, because we're in Chattanooga and all of my family is in Memphis. Like 90% of my family is in Memphis. So, it's just me and my aunt here in Chattanooga. So when I get the chance to celebrate her and celebrate my mother, I do it, and my kids do it too. And it never fails. I always have to tell my kids, guys, you don't have to spend all of your money, but it's such a great reward just to see the fact that I've trained them and I've raised them to be givers and to be thoughtful and to be caring, and to acknowledge those people in their lives who have done so much for them. Like, so, yes, I kind of pat myself on the back because Christmas comes around, they're always digging in their pockets and saying, hey, I want to go get this for Granny, or I want to buy this for me, Mom, I want to get this for Auntie. And it's to me, it's a reward, and I don't really take it for granted that they're like that, because there are a lot of children who don't know the reward or the great feeling of giving to someone else, and that's a shame, because in this life, that's what this life is about. It's always about helping other people. It's always about being there and supporting other people and improving other people's lives. Like, it's not just on us to be overwhelmed in our lives. It's not just on us to be exhausted with just dealing with what's going on in our lives, but we also need to give something back to other people. We also need to exhaust ourselves for other people. I was telling someone not so long ago about how love is uncomfortable. And it is, love it's not just a word. Love isn't just a moment. Love is an ongoing action. Love is an ongoing selfless act that has been in effect for generations and generations and generations and generations since our God created us. And I think a lot of times we take love for granted, and I think we take that small word for granted because we don't realize just how big of an impact it makes on other people's lives. And I'm saying all that due to giving. We have to be givers in this world. We have to train our children how to give. And you guys, not just to and I did say that, not to just our family and not to just people who do things for us or who in our lives, like give to people who have less than. There is someone special. I'm not going to name any names because I don't know who's listening, but there's someone special who said something to me about clothes. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that you sent clothes to a certain place. And I was like, girl, I have so many clothes. Like, normally I just throw stuff away because I get tired of lugging it around in my car and trying to find somebody who I feel like is very worthy of the stuff that I buy for my kids. So I, either we get rid of it or I just get tired of looking at it. If I don't know anyone, my aunt doesn't know anyone, I just get rid of it. So she was saying, yeah, we always send stuff back home. And I was like, oh, I got you. Like, I got plenty of stuff. And she was like, well, we normally do it, maybe a certain time of the year because it takes so long to get home. And I was like, right, but I can go ahead and send it. That may be your time of the year to give, but I can give what we have now, since it takes so long to get there. But I just find it very rewarding, and I hope you guys are training your children to give, because a lot of things in this life has been controlled by us not training our children the right way. And I think because of how things have been passed down to us, like, I make a conscious effort every day to make sure that I am not raising my children with these same fears or with the same rejection or with the same withholdings that I was raised with or that I have myself. Like, I have a lot of things that I am reserved about doing, but I try to make sure that my children don't have those same reservations, because I want them to have their own identity. I want them to have their own mind. And I know you guys are thinking, is this on topic? I am so much on topic. You will see. I'm just going to tie everything in together. But I want my kids to have their own mind. I want them to be able to manage their own thoughts and their own personality and to be organized in everything they do. So in that, I don't want them to take on my feelings and my emotions and my fears and my reservations about things, because that's me. It's my identity, and I need them to lead their own lives and to organize their own thoughts and to set their own priorities and to set aside fear. I don't want them living in fear. I'm terrified of heights, so I try my best not to do anything that will put me in a very high altitude. Like, it takes everything out of me. This weekend, my husband and I went to a Braves game, and that Sunday, we were kind of higher up than what we were Saturday. And I was like, I can't even enjoy the game because I'm so high up. And I really tried to do this mental psychology, I really tried to do it on myself, and it was not working. I'm sorry. But I'm also in my 30s, and, I am what I am at this point. As far as heights go, at some point in my life, hopefully I get over it, because I don't want to fear anything. I don't want to have anything that I hold back on in life. I'm not going to jump out of any planes. Let's just say that. But I do not want to not be able to enjoy something because of my silly fears. When I get in very high heights, or when I get into something that I feel like can't hold me, I pretty much break down, and I feel like everything has advanced more. So I may be 3 floors up, but to me, I am 20 floors up. If I'm on that walking bridge sorry guys, I was moving my arm. If I'm on that walking bridge in Gatlinburg, or I think there's somewhere else that there's a walking bridge that we go across sometimes, but I feel like when it moves, it's just gonna break. It's just gonna collapse. And I don't know why, because I see people around me that may weigh a little bit more than me, that may be taller than me, and I'm like, it didn't break for them, so why it's gonna break for me? But that's just how I am. But anyway, hopefully I'm getting rid of all of those silly fears. But back to the topic at hand. So let's try to definitely instill things in our children to make our future better. Yes, history always repeats itself. We see that in fashion. We see that in racism. We see that in the culture. We see that in groceries. We see it in everything, gas prices, everything. We see it in the attitudes in the children that come into the world. My grandmother used to say that when you see a lot of boys being born, that means we're getting ready to go to war. And I used to always believe, like, I pretty much believe everything my grandma was told me. That's just how it should have been. So. And that's just a proven fact that's the reason why we need to train our children up the way that we haven't been trained or taught or raised. Because when our parents pass things down to us not knowing or unknowingly, or when they pass down things to us without consideration of their projection of it, I would say it continues to shape the system that we're already in. So when I'm raising my kids and when I am teaching them different things, I try to do the total opposite of what I believe, because I don't want them to have now I'm not saying totally believe. I'm just saying, like, things that I know that could be a little bit better, that I could possibly process differently, things like that. Like, I don't want my kids growing up thinking, okay, so here it is. Okay, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Okay, don't laugh at me, don't judge me. Just take it for what it is, okay? So here's my deep, dark secret. Okay. So I have a not fear. I have a reservation about eating at Church's Chicken, because I am from Memphis and I don't really know where this came from. I will say I heard my mom say it, and it just is what it is. But sorry if you guys hear my dogs barking, but I'm not going to stop recording. So it is what it is. But so when I was younger, I heard that Church's Chicken was owned by the KKK, and that they inject their chicken with steroids, and so they were trying to kill off the black community, because it was only in black communities. And if you guys realize it today, Church's Chicken is still only in predominantly black areas. Now, some people will say, they're in predominantly low income areas, which could possibly be true as well. But it's just a simple fact that, I've heard that. I believed it my whole life. So therefore, I train my children to not eat there. So, they've taken on that idiocracy as well, that I will say. But it's okay, because I at somewhat, I guess I know better, but I just don't know. I haven't really did my research on it. We've looked up a few things, we've analyzed a few comments on the Google or whatever, but it is what it is. Well, until they actually examine stuff and examine the chicken and test it, I guess, I don't know, but it is what it is. So that's my deep dark secret, you guys. That's why I don't eat Church's Chicken. So anyway, I do by chance eat their fried okra and their biscuits, because they are the bomb. But anyway, that's it. Okay, so moving on. So anyways, I just want to give you guys my opinion tonight on the structure of your business, the structure on your goals, structure on staying focused, and setting aside those timed work times for you. It's definitely important to make sure that we have a structured work life, structured home life, okay? So in becoming a boss in your world, whether it is becoming a higher up on your job or in your career, or higher up in the stock world, like anything that you are excelling to, or anything that you're putting your mind to do and to accomplish, these are my tips, okay? So first thing first, I definitely want to reiterate, which I think I hit on last week, is about coming out of your comfort zone, right? we all know that. Like, that is something that we just can't get out of. Okay, so being comfortable is not okay. If you are comfortable in your world, you are definitely not living. Okay, living life is definitely not comfortable. Like I said about love is definitely uncomfortable. So let's think about some things that are uncomfortable for us. Like, for me, talking is very uncomfortable. So growing up, I was in a lot of different clubs at school. I was in Facing History Club, which we had to do a lot of talking about. Definitely had to do a lot of talking about the things that we were going to, the different museums we were going to see, the different things we were doing, different things we were experiencing, and I loved it. And then I also took on a public speaking class because I loved it. So, like, one of my other goals in life was to become a public speaking model for different companies, like the face of the company, and doing all of their PR work for them. And I kind of got out of that yet again because of my weight. We're not going down that rabbit hole tonight, but yes, I gave it up because of my appearance. And there's just some things in this world that we focus on more than, and we give more of our energy to. This world. We definitely value size over health. Just because you're skinny, you're slim, doesn't mean that you're healthy. And we definitely value youth over wellness. We don't realize that just because I look young, or, I don't have wrinkles in my face, or, I constantly dye my hair, doesn't mean that, you're living a well productive life or well-rounded life. It doesn't mean that you are not only healthy. Like, it doesn't mean that, not just that you're not healthy is what I'm saying. It also doesn't mean that you are well balanced financially, that you're well balanced in your marriage, or as a mother, as a father. It definitely doesn't mean that. So just because of our looks doesn't mean that we're a well-rounded person. Just because you're slim doesn't mean that you're healthy. This world definitely value looking good over feeling good. And it's funny that I'm saying all three of these things, because health, wellness, and feeling good are not one and the same. And I think sometimes we confuse them as they are, and they're not. So feeling good, I started working out. Like I told you guys, I started working out back in September, and I lost 65 pounds, and I felt amazing, right? I wasn't slim. I was a little bit closer to being healthier, but I wasn't slim, and I still look the same. I noticed that I lost the weight. It wasn't like a really big notice to people, because I guess I go around the same people and they see me, a lot. So it wasn't as noticeable as I wanted it to be. But what I'm saying is, there are a lot of things that can make you feel good. We have mental healthness. We have actual health. We have actual relationship healthiness. We have healthy relationships with our children, with our co-workers. We have healthy appetites for books. We have healthy appetites for learning and design to accomplish things in life, and just an overall well-being, and I think sometimes because we are not informed, or we are not stable in certain relationships, we're very unbalanced, and so we tend to lean towards that imbalanced relationship where it tells us that we're okay. We kind of want that comfort, because like I said, we tend to go towards things that soothe us, and those soothers aren't always good for us. So that is my tip, and that is my opinion. And as far as what I'm concerned about, with our youth today, is that in passing down these things that we've talked about so far, to me, things kind of look a lot worse. And I know probably our grandparents thought the same thing. And I'm just going to put this out there, like, growing up, I didn't see the spiritual warfare. Now, it's clear as day. And I'm hoping a lot of other mothers are noticing this, because it's terrifying to me. And I just want us to make sure that we're training our children to be different, to be better, to be overcomers, to be steadfast in anything that they, set out to do. Like, stay focused. Okay. So let's teach them to respect others, but to love themselves more. Let's respect others' opinions of whoever or whatever, but we don't have to minimize our thoughts to that. We don't have to just stay in that box because this is what the world wants us to think, right? We don't want to stay in that box because this is the box that the world has created for us. So, obviously this has to be right. Obviously this is what it is, right? This is gold. Let's not, let's just make sure our children think better and that they're not being stuck in a certain mindset. Okay, so being uncomfortable. Let's talk about that. What is it that made you uncomfortable? So like I was saying about me being a public speaker, I kind of got out of it. And so the less and less that I did it, the more I felt okay with not doing it. The more I felt okay with not being in front of people and not realizing that this is who I was. This is who I was being called to be. So therefore it wasn't going away, And I had to realize that essentially it's just who I am. So now I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone again. So speaking to you guys every Tuesday, giving you guys my thoughts, giving you guys my opinions, trying to inspire you, trying to motivate you. Like, this is definitely coming out of my comfort zone because I always feel like, I'm repeating myself, or I definitely feel like I'm repeating stuff that you've already heard. And that's okay, because when we pick up a book and we read it from the 1980s and then we pick up a book from the 2000s, there's going to be something in there that's being repeated, and that's okay, because we as humans, we tend to forget things, especially as life goes on, especially as we get busy and running our own lives, our own homes, and our own businesses and all, and being in our careers and trying to raise children and being married and trying to focus on that relationship. Like, we forget essential things, and that's okay. So I had to tell myself, it is okay to definitely repeat yourself. It's okay to repeat something that someone else has heard, because the moment that I heard my best friend mom tell me, Ebony, you deserve to look the way you want to look, it changed my life. Y'all, lost 65 pounds in 5 months. But I knew that already, I knew it. I just needed to be reminded. So therefore, it's okay for me. It's okay for me to do that. So, like I said, I'm definitely coming out of my comfort zone. I'm definitely doing something that I didn't think that I would really be doing. So it's okay. So tell me, guys, what is your comfort zone? Like, I want you guys to talk back to me. Definitely leave me a comment. Definitely send me a message on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. I'm on all of them. And just tell me, like, what do you think is holding you back? What are those obstacles for you? So, and being comfortable and feeling too comfortable, we don't like taking risks. We don't like doing things that are crazy. We don't like doing things that make us look crazy, right? We like doing the same old. And my thing is, who says it's crazy? Who says I can't open up my own modeling studio here in Chattanooga, Tennessee? Why would that be crazy? Because there's not one here. There's no one here doing what I do at all. So where are these stipulations coming from, right? Okay, so when we look at people and we say, oh, I don't want them to look at me and think this, or I don't want people to judge me, or I don't want people to form their own opinion about me, because that's what we're saying. We don't want people to form their own opinion about us. We want to give people their opinion of us, right? And that's just not how life works. I wish it did. I really do, but that's not. You have to be okay with people thinking however they think about you. Jesus was, Martin Luther King was, Malcolm X was, all of our great leaders were, Obama, I'm sure, Michelle, I'm sure, Beyonce, I'm sure, Jay-Z, I'm sure, like Lil Wayne, Cardi B, like all of these people, they had to be okay with who they are, and they had to live the life that they wanted to live, because people are going to always have something to say. So regardless of who or what or when or where, you do you, okay? Come out of your comfort zone. Do what you think is crazy. Do what you think is unspeakable. Do what you think is unheard of. The world needs that. My children, they need that. My kids need to see something different. Okay, we need to be challenged. Okay, so what is going to be the reward for you coming out of your comfort zone? My reward for me is I'm helping people. I'm touching people. I am spreading inspiration. I'm spreading motivation. I'm spreading confidence. I am giving people what God gave me. I am revealing myself to me. That is my reward. And, last week we talked about revealing. Oh, sorry, guys. Last week we talked about revealing or revealed. Just a quick recap on that. In part 1, the R was for remember. The E was for examine. The V was for vulnerable. Sorry. The E was for empty. The A was for allow. The L was for let go. The E was for elevate, and the D was for dare. Right? So that was revealed. And that was just us revealing things to ourselves. So now that we've revealed all of these things to ourselves, let's reveal them to the world. Let's show the world how great you are. Okay. So first step is let's stay focused on your goals that you set. Because last week we talked about setting goals. We talked about setting your 90-day goal, your 30-day goal. And so now that you guys have done that, and now that we're setting aside time just for that one particular thing, let's talk about how you're going to stay focused on it. So after you have set your target, right? So we have a calendar, we have a board, and we've made a target. We've set a date. So for me, I'm trying to write my first ebook, right? So I had to set a date, right? Because just like when I did my grand opening for my studio, I had to set a date. My pastor's wife, Sister Slack, she told me, she said, Ebony, set a date, work towards that date. Because if it was left up to me, I would have still been planning. I would have still been trying to manipulate everything and try to figure out how I'm going to do this, I had to, in my mind, I have to get my ducks in a row. So now, in my mind for that certain project, I wanted to get my ducks in a row. And now I'm just living me. I'm just doing me. Because to me, I get the big picture out and then I work out all of the details. And that's just how I do things. So for you, that may look, something different. And that is okay. That is okay because we all have our certain ways of how we do things, right? We all have our certain strategies. So first, let's begin with a clear focus, okay? Make a list. Write down everything that you want. Make that goal first, don't even number it because that's your first bullet point, right? So then you're going to write down your strategic points of how you're going to execute this goal. Next, prioritize wisely. So, you've heard a couple of times throughout my different podcasts that I didn't realize that I could reprioritize. That blew my mind, y'all, like seriously. So when you are prioritizing your list or prioritizing your goals to accomplish this one target, it's okay to rearrange them day by day. Like today, let's just say one day I focused on the decorations for the grand opening, and then another day I focused on the advertising, and then another day I focused on the location, and then another day I focused on my staff of helping me execute this huge goal, right? So that's what I mean by prioritizing. So let's start off by getting small goals and focusing on that one. Not small goals, let me rephrase that. Let's start off by getting one task, your one goal, your one target, and executing that one. Because if you guys are, and I'm preaching to the choir, really I'm preaching to myself, I can focus on 10 different things at one time. Here's the problem with that. I'm not giving 100% to nothing that I'm focusing on. And I know that. So, you guys, I am helping myself while I'm helping you. When you get a goal, and it's okay to be a dreamer. I believe definitely I'm a dreamer. And that's okay. That's great because those dreams have to come to life. So like I have this huge project right now that I want to work on, and I am like killing myself, and I'm like, no, Ebony, stay focused. Like, let's knock out these other 5 things that you already have on your board first for the month, and then we'll focus on this huge project, because this next project that I want to work on is going to take everything in me. So I definitely need to get things down packed and all of my kinks worked out. Like for the podcast, I need to get my office set up at my house. I need to get my strategy set up for my next couple of topics. I need to get my guests lined up for the next 4 or 5 months. Like, I have a lot of things to do for the podcast. And then for my studio, I'm working on my donation letters and getting those out, and working on the location for our next show, working on not the costumes, but the fashion for the show, working on the details for that show. I'm working on the decorations for that show. Like, I just have a lot going on for my life coaching business. I'm definitely working on that, getting that set up and started, so, and like I said, it's okay because I'm just that person. My kids are all active. Like I said, they have a lot of things going on as well. I'm just an active person. So if you haven't noticed, I do have ADD. I am not ashamed to say that, because I think it's great for people who have so much talent and so much just to give the world. I love those people, because guess what? We all, I'm not going to say idolize, but we all look up to those people. We all look up to the Beyoncés and the Jay-Z's and whoever else. I know y'all not keep calling the same names, because I really don't listen to that. I really just don't listen to a lot of music like that. So that's just all I can come up with right now. But some famous people or people that you look up to, and those people, they have more than one thing going on in their lives. They definitely have more than one project going on. And the difference between us and them, they got the money to pay the staff to go and do the legwork. I don't. So back to us, back to the real people here, the day-to-day people, because they are real people too. They started out just like we are too. But what I'm saying is, on tonight, we're going to focus on setting those goals and staying focused on those goals and setting boundaries to make sure that we accomplish these tasks. Okay. So that was your first 3 points. Okay. Being clear with your focus. Okay. Setting that goal. We know exactly what that target is. I have a modeling studio. That's my target. I have a podcast. That's my target. I have a life coaching business. That's also my target. Okay. So next, we're going to make a list, right? We're going to make a list of everything that we need to execute that detailed target. Okay. We need to be very, very precise and clear about what exactly we want. That can take a very long time, you guys. For me, maybe 3 days, because I just kind of jot everything down. I'm great at brainstorming, so I've always been the one to carry around notebooks with me. I have 5 or 6 different notebooks, and they all are titled for all of my projects. I have a notebook for my book that I'm trying to write, so I write down all of my chapters in that book, and then I write down exactly what I want in certain chapters. Like I can break things down like that, so I'm great at brainstorming. So you guys definitely here in the near future, I will be having a boss wife planner, and I will definitely put the link down. Hopefully next June 1st. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm not gonna say hopefully. June 1st, you'll be able to purchase my boss wife planner, which will have all of these things in there. It will have all of the details to help you plan out your direct target that we are going to execute together. Okay. So next, minimize the interruptions. So the way that I do that is I have certain days that I do everything on. So Monday night is my modeling studio night. So I just let people know, hey, I'm not available on Monday night. There's nothing I can do extra. Nope. Because I work a full-time job, you guys. So I never know exactly what time I'm going to get off of work. I don't really have a lot of control over that. And my job may differ. They may be like, oh no, you get off at 5. That's not true. Because if I still have patients, then that means my physician is still there. And that means that he can possibly order something that I may have to, call the hospital and schedule, or I may have to call in prescriptions, or I may have to schedule a procedure. So, so I make sure that on Monday nights, I have nothing else planned, because once I get off work, I'm headed directly to the studio, and that's all I do on Monday night. I don't prep or plan for my podcast. I don't do anything for my life coaching business. I try not to entertain emails that I'm not going to take action on, because it gives me anxiety. Like I said, I am one to my motor is always running and turning and turning and turning. So if I open an email that I cannot get back to, I'm definitely going to respond back to the email. It may be 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, which means that I'm up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning working on something else. So those are the boundaries that I set for Monday. Tuesday, the same. I get off work. Now I do help out my sister-in-law, and I pick up my niece and nephew from daycare on Tuesday nights, but that's only because my kids are here, so they can help with the babies and keep them occupied while I'm doing this, and that's it. I don't work on anything else. Today I did open an email for my life coaching business, and it's killing me right now because I really want to email her back, and I'm trying really hard not to because I want to stay focused on this. Okay, so and so that's how I prioritize. That's how I minimize my interruptions. All of the doors are locked. My kids cannot come upstairs. Nobody can walk in and out of this living room. My dogs are downstairs. Like I eliminate things that are going to take me off task. Okay, so that is your number 4. Minimize your interruptions, and that can be with anything. Like that can be with your girlfriend. If she's calling and saying, "Hey, I really need to talk about this. I'm having this moment. I need you. No. You don't need me tonight. You will still need me in the morning, okay? I'll call you in the morning. Don't lose that thought, okay? Like, seriously, make sure your kids are good before you start to do whatever you're working on. Like, make sure everything is on lock, okay? So that you will be able to sit down and focus on whatever you're trying to execute, okay? Stop multitasking. I probably just blew my own bubble. I am a great multitasker. Women, come on, we multitask on everything. We can do 20 different things at one time, but like I just said so clearly, if you're doing 20 different things at one time, you are not giving 100% to none of those 20 things. I'm sorry guys, but you're really not. I know that, and I still do it. So, tomato, we live and learn. We're focusing, we're trying to prioritize, we're trying to nail it down, okay? We're working on it, we are a work in progress, and that is okay, okay? So, do not procrastinate. Oh, I am definitely a procrastinator. I just am, and I think it's because I do multitask so much. So when you get overwhelmed, it's when you start to procrastinate. Because now at that point, you're looking for an out, you're looking for a break, you're looking for a sit down moment, and that can hinder your target, that can hinder your execution. So when we're focusing on our goal and we're trying to stay with tunnel vision, which is very hard for women to do. Men, on the other hand, are masters at tunnel vision. They only see one thing, and after they've accomplished that thing, okay, let's move on to the next tunnel. And I'm like, no. We need to do this. We need to do the kids this. We need to do this for the kids. We need to do this for that. And my husband's like, I'm only doing one thing. Like, this is all I can do. Like, babe, I'm trying. So, it is what it is. Men are great. We love men. We love our men. They're awesome. We couldn't do this without them. So, but when you multitask, when you overwhelm yourself, that is definitely your procrastination moment, because we want to breathe, we want to exhale, we want to go sit on the porch, we want to smell the roses, we want to go on vacation, we want to take that weekend off with our husband, and we want it, and that's great. We all need those things. We definitely need to do those things, but we need to do them in the right moments at the right time, because stopping and starting will definitely cause the worst ripple in executing your goal. Okay, it's okay, yes, to set a date, like I said, June 1st. But guess what? If I continue to multitask on days that are not set for those things, like today I wanted to answer that email, it's going to cause a huge ripple. It would have pushed this back. It would have caused me to prolong doing whatever I had to do today. When I got off of work, I went over to my mother-in-law's house to take her, the kids went to take her Mother's Day gift. And, the whole time I'm sitting over there, I'm thinking, oh God, I gotta get home. Well, that was kind of a knee-jerk reaction, because I should have did that when we got back in town Monday. And like I said, when we got out of the studio on Monday, I just kind of wanted to go home. We got home from out of town, and it was just, I just wanted to sit down and breathe. So I did. But then while I was sitting down and breathing, I started, looking up things for my life coaching business and kind of got off task. And then I was like, oh God, let me just go over what my lesson for tonight, because for my modeling studio, I plan things out monthly. I plan out my lessons and my courses, and I actually forgot that I had a guest speaker coming. So I was like, Ebony, you got to stay focused. So back to procrastination. When you cause that ripple in things, even though you set a date for it, you can still push the date back, because then we talk ourselves into saying, oh, it's okay because I gotta do this, I had to do that, I had to do this, I had to do this. So guys, stay focused. Do not try to take on more than what you can handle for that moment. Like I do, here's a great tip for you guys. Set certain days, just like we have days that we go to work. These are your days for your job. Set a day aside just for your planning. Set a day aside just for your marketing. Set a day aside just for your advertising. Set your goals. Like, get you a huge calendar. Mark off your Mondays, or mark off your every other Monday, or mark off your every Saturday plus third Thursday. It's okay. Because if we don't set those boundaries, the lines are going to continue to blur. Our family and business are going to continue to blur. And we're going to always feel like we're overwhelmed. We're always stressed out, and we can't get anything accomplished. Okay. My next tip for you guys is use a calendar. I just said that. Learn to say no. Whew, this is a big one for me. But I will say, now that I've started my own business or businesses, people have kind of left me alone. Because it's known, my schedule is pretty much known to everybody that I know now. And it's like, even when they say, hey, are you free on this day? Or, hey, can you tell me what time you can do it? No. I can do it on Friday, or I can do it on Thursday. And now, my Thursdays are pretty much going to my life coaching business. And now my Fridays are going towards my my book. Is what I think I set aside. So Wednesday night is pretty much like my Sunday. Sundays is family day, because we have church and it's our time to be together. So I kind of pretty much put aside my Wednesdays for that too. So when you're setting aside time, you guys, one thing that I do like to do as well is put a clock in front of me. So if I'm working on my podcasting things, I usually tend to work on everything at night. I'm just going to be honest with you. Definitely. Because by the end of the night, I'm pretty much woke. And I'm just a night owl, and I get a lot of things accomplished. My mind seems to just go like a hamster on a wheel at night, and I just have to learn how to turn it off. But so that is my reason for saying, put a clock in front of you guys to help you guys to stay focused. The way just like on your job or in your career, if you work for someone else currently, that you have those 8 hours to fulfill, right? So for yourself, invest that time into yourself as well. Invest that time into your business. You need to pay yourself an hourly check as well. So when you set a time, when you put that clock in front of you, clock in, okay? Pay yourself what you're worth. That's kind of what I use my job for. Is I pay myself from my job is my investor, right? They are investing into my business. They just don't know. They're my biggest investor. So when I come home and I punch this clock for Boss Wife, they're paying me, right? So when I get my check from Memorial, half of that portion is going into Boss Wife, because that is my investment. Me sitting down here talking to you guys is my investment into myself, is my investment into you guys. So I definitely need to get paid for this time, right? So just like anything else, you guys, it is important to pay yourself what you're worth. Put that clock in front of you. Make sure that you set a time. Make sure that you set your hours for your business. Okay? Make sure that you set your hours for your strategy meetings, for any meeting that you have. Set a time. Because you know what? I've learned, if you put a price on anything, we're going to be there, right? We're going to acknowledge it. People don't acknowledge you when you're doing stuff for free. They acknowledge you when you're getting paid for it. Let's just be real. That goes on that list of what the world values, okay? We value that dollar sign. So if you are telling yourself, hey, Ebony, I'm going to pay you $5 an hour, when you're working on Boss Wife. I'm going to pay you $7 an hour when you're working on your life coaching business. I'm going to pay you $3 an hour when you're working on your book. Okay, so I know that when I get my paycheck, I have to take that money out of my personal account and put that into my business account, because that is the money that I'm paying myself for working on my business, right? So my last point is to meet your deadlines. Okay, so after you set your deadline, I have a deadline June 1st. I put that out there. It's out for the whole world to hear. So you guys will definitely be getting my Boss Wife Planner on June 1st. Woo, woo, woo. I'm so excited. And I just literally told myself that. So I'm going to put that on my calendar tonight. But I'm excited to get that out there, to get it published. And that's another thing, you guys. Get you a friend or get someone to hold you accountable for the things that you say, the things that you're going to put out there. When I set my deadline for my studio, I told all of my friends, I called a designer, a party planner, I should say, and I gave her my date. And I said, hey, okay, this is my date. I need us to go ahead and start working on this. Okay, I put it in action, right? I put it in action. You have to have somebody to help you stay accountable for the things that you are doing. And it's okay to categorize the things that you want to do. Let me break that down for you. So when I'm working on my book, I don't just say I'm working on my book in general, right? I'll either work on a chapter, a certain chapter, or I'll work on, I'm a perfectionist. So I like to, as you guys can tell, because I like to edit my podcast, which I probably shouldn't be doing, but it irks me so much when I hear like dead space. But anyway, so I'm a perfectionist. So I can't tell you how many times I've rewritten my chapters. Like rewritten the names of my chapters, because I keep getting the names of these books and I'm like, oh, I should name this book this, or I should name this book that. But you guys, I have to also remind myself that, hey, Ebony, you said you're gonna write more than one book, so it's okay. Like, let's leave that book and those chapters alone for that book. So when you are categorizing your things that you're working on for that day or for that certain business, break it down. Don't overwhelm yourself. Let's go back to that. Don't overwhelm yourself with the general idea of something. Let's focus on which part of that are we going to work on. Okay. So, when we are conducting business at work, sorry guys, I hit the mic. When we're conducting business, in our career, we dress the part. Okay, so we get up, we get dressed, we do our hair, we brush our teeth, we make sure we either shower that night or that morning, whatever you do, we put on our shoes, and then we go to work. Do the same thing for your own business. Set aside the time. So if you have to be like, for me, I get off work about, let's say 6 o'clock. We just leave it at 6 o'clock because my time differs. So on Tuesdays, if I get off at 6 o'clock, I know by 7:30 I should be recording. By 7 o'clock, my equipment should be being turned on, should be getting set up. Everything should be warming up. I should be, rehearsing my vocals to warm up my voice. I should be drinking my water. Like, I should be preparing to get my day started, just like I prepared to get my day started for my actual career, right? For everybody else's job. Let's put in the same preparation and the same time that we put in everybody else's things that we do for other people into our own. Okay, so those are my tips for tonight. Guys, let's not waste time doing meaningless things throughout our day. Like, don't waste time not having a plan. And we know that. That's one of those things that I feel like everybody knows. Oh my God, you know. But guess what? If everybody knew to have a plan, planners wouldn't be popular. Right? So, like, even in school, my kids still come home with planners. Because it's important to know that you need to plan out your day. It's important to know that you need to plan out anything that you're trying to accomplish and execute in your life, okay? So don't waste time not having a plan. Don't waste time in front of TV. Don't waste time on IG. Don't waste time on Twitter. Don't waste time on Facebook. My mom used to tell me that all the time. She's like, Ebony, you're sitting there watching people, because I'm a big TV person, you guys. Any movie that comes out, TV show that comes, like, I'm huge on TV. And now I have to set a timer for that, because I need to get my work done for my business. So I can't sit in front of TV all day, right? So my mom used to tell me all the time when I was younger, Ebony, you're sitting there watching people get paid to entertain you. She was like, you can do the same thing. And that's what I tell my kids now, because my kids, they love being on TikTok and they love being on IG and Pinterest and all that. And I'm like, guys, if you guys can sit there and watch these people get paid to do what you want to do, you can do the same thing. Go ahead and start you a YouTube channel. Go ahead and start you a business. Like, like I told you guys, my daughter loves to bake. So I made her a logo. Like, I'm trying to help her. My other daughter, she's doing sugar scrubs now, and she's doing I don't know if she's gonna do lip glosses or not, but whatever she wants to do. Like, I'm investing in my children as well, so that they know that it's okay to invest in themselves. Like, my baby girl, she hates to spend her money on anything, literally hates it. And I'm like, Ebony, like, you gotta invest in you. You have to buy the things that you want to buy. Don't just leave it up to me and daddy to buy you everything. No. And it's great that she likes to save, but I also need to teach them to invest in themselves. So you guys, when you're planning out your day, when you're planning out everything, you have a plan, don't waste time doing meaningless things. Okay. Now it's okay if you're on these different medias to get insight or to learn how to do something, or to learn if you're investing, like if this is the time that you're investing back into you, into your mental health, into your mental status, to be able to execute things for your business, and that's great. But if you're just doing this for leisure time, you're wasting time. All of that energy that you're putting into scrolling, I wish y'all could see me because I'm scrolling with my finger in the air. All the time that you're putting into looking up stuff to laugh at, or looking up stuff to show somebody else, like, to me, that's meaningless. Like, I don't have a TikTok, and I'm not saying, you guys, it's something wrong with it. I'm just saying, make sure you set a time aside to do those things, because if those things aren't important, if that's not going to help your business grow, if that's not going to help you execute your desires, then don't do them. And if you are going to do them, just set aside a time to do it. We do that for our kids. We give them a screen time. We don't let them be on TV. We don't allow our kids to be on TV longer than an hour. We don't allow our kids to be on social media longer than an hour, or we don't allow them to be in front of their phones, more than 4 to 5 minutes a day. So I'm like, if we do that for our children, if we're trying to instill that in our children, do it for yourself too. Just because you've grown don't mean that you know everything, And if we're setting goals for ourselves, and if we're setting desires for ourselves to achieve, so you need to do the same thing for yourself. Time management is very important. It's a very big deal, and it's sad to say a lot of grown people do not have great time management skills at all. And guys, I cannot tell you how that irks me on these other people's jobs. Dude, don't complain to me about you not being able to get something done, and you just sit over here and talk to Sally for 30 minutes about getting work done. How? I don't even understand how people can even say, I don't have time to get this done. But you telling me you ain't got time. So the time that you're telling me that you don't have time to get it done is the time that you could be doing it. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. That just irks me so bad. Just don't complain to me about stuff that you actually can control. Life is going to throw us enough curveballs. Control the things that you can't control. Don't complain about it. Do it. So anyway, to get off of that tangent, don't waste time with cluttering yourself, needing too much of your time to look after it. Don't allow meaningless time just scrolling. When I was getting ready to design my grand opening, I definitely didn't waste time just looking at stuff. I didn't waste time looking at meaningless stuff and cluttering up my Pinterest with stuff that I wasn't going to use. Now, I did clip things for future events, but I also put them in their own category. Okay, so I didn't waste time just collecting clutter. Okay, so don't waste time with don't waste time with being tempted by distractions. We went over that as well. Don't waste time not being intentional. We definitely went over that as well. So just stay focused, you guys. It is okay to veer off. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to take a breather. It's okay to go outside and sit on the porch and relax and just exhale. But give yourself a time limit, pretty much. Okay, just know exactly how much time is enough. Okay, so 10 things for you guys to give up. Okay, give up your excuses, give up your self-doubt, give up your fear of failure. Lord have mercy, we talked about that first. Okay, give up your procrastination. That is huge, you guys. I know I keep repeating that, but like I said earlier, it is okay to repeat yourself because people need to be reminded. Give up procrastination. Give up people pleasing. This will never get you anywhere, okay? There is nothing in this world that another person can give me that I cannot get for myself, because if they can achieve it, that means I can achieve it as well. Okay, school teaches us that. Okay, everybody has to matriculate through school. If somebody else went to the second grade, that means I can get to the second grade. If somebody else went to college, I can get through college. If somebody else went to grad school, I can get through grad school. There's nothing in this life that other people can achieve that you can't achieve for yourself. Okay, so why try to please people? Because they're never going to do anything perfect. They're never going to get it right 100% of the time. We are all human, okay? People fail us. They're going to disappoint us. That's just how it is. You can't make everybody happy all the time, okay? Number 7, negative thinking. Give it up. That's going to get you nowhere, okay? Like I said, you know, the world is going to throw enough things at us. We don't need to do it to ourselves. Give it up, you guys. Negative self-talks. Oh, goodness. Yes, if I had $1 every time I gave myself a negative talk, well, I wouldn't be that rich. Because I mean, I'm just thinking about it now. Like, I really don't give myself negative talks a lot. I do have a lot of negative thoughts, but not negative talking. Because my opinion, if I can say it, then, I mean, it's not really real. You know, like, what things that I say, I put a lot into. So I'm not going to just sit here and say a lot of dumb stuff. I'm just sorry guys. Judgment of others, we talked about that. We're not going to make them happy. Let people have their own opinion of them. We cannot give people our opinion, you know, so we can't control it. Just let them have it, guys. It's not worth it. It's not worth your time or your energy. Take your feelings off your sleeve. Don't worry about what people think about you. They're not going to make or break you. We're going to have to face rejection in life. That's just life. We're going to have to face things that aren't going to go our way. That's just life. Those things are there to help us, though. Those things are there to help build us, and they build character. So it's not worth it. Negative people in your circle. This shouldn't even be an issue. Like, if someone is in your circle that is negative, like, my biggest pet peeve is if we're friends, then you really shouldn't have anything negative to say about any of my ideas. Like, that's just how I feel. Now, you have your own opinion, yes, but being negative is worthless. Like, no. Like, seriously, dude, like, keep your own opinion to yourself. If it's not going to help me, if it's not going to change it, like, okay, so if I have an idea and you don't, like, totally agree with it and you have a better way of going about it, yes, definitely give me your opinion. Now, if you just have something that's negative to say about it and you're not going to help me to make it better, then you can keep it. Like, you're not even considered a friend if you do that. Okay, we're here to support each other. We're here to better each other. We're here to challenge each other. You guys, these are my challenges for you for the week. Definitely, and I know you guys can probably tell that's one of my favorite words. Make you a list. Prioritize. Stop procrastinating. Be successful in your thinking. Think successful. Picture yourself already achieving your goal. Picture yourself in that life already, because those are the thoughts that's going to get you to where you want to be. Okay, you have to see yourself there. You have to live those imaginations that you have already created in your mind. Go ahead and live them. Just live them, because you are going to accomplish it anyway. Okay, don't ever be afraid to show who you really are, because as long as you are happy with yourself, no one else's opinion matters. That is one of my favorite quotes, you guys, and I just wanted to share it with you. We can do it. We can challenge ourselves to be better. We can challenge ourselves. If we can challenge ourselves day to day to go and work for other people, we can definitely challenge ourselves to do what we love to do for ourselves and to better our families and to better our futures, right? Okay. Like, subscribe, follow, talk back, comment. Just let me guys know what you guys think every week of the podcast. Thank you guys so much for coming and joining me every week, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.